Hi guys. So last night I was watching Laura's live YouTube stream, and there was a girl in there that commented that Laura should take a look at the CASO Report page 754. And honestly, I ignored it the first time she said it, and then she said it again, and I was like, okay, I'm curious. So I went and looked it up. And I read this report, and like while the live stream was going on, I went and read this report. And at first when I read it, I was like, okay, we're talking about the bullet, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, what? What did I just read? Did I read that right? I read it again. Yes, I read that right. That is what it says. So I'm going to read it to you now. So this is the CASO Report, page 754. It is, type of activity is receipt of confidential report of laboratory findings from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. Date of activity is 5/11/06. Reporting officer Mark Wiegert. On 5/11/06, I, Wiegert, received a report from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. The results of the test indicate the bullet in item FL was fired from the Marlin rifle item DD, the one that was in Stephen's room. The bullet in item FK exhibits the same physical class characteristics as the rifle in item DD and could have been fired from that gun or any other with the same class characteristics. So basically they're just saying that FL, the one that ended up with Teresa's DNA on it, and that was found in the garage on March 2nd, was definitely fired from the gun that was found in Stephen's room, hanging over his bed. But FK was possibly fired from that gun or any other gun with the same class characteristics, whatever that means. It could have been from another Marlin rifle, which I believe there was at least one or two on the property, so it could have come from any of those guns, or possibly even a similar gun. But FL definitely was fired from that gun. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we're talking about the bullet. Then I read the next sentence, and it says, it should be noted that the Wisconsin State Crime Lab had received this evidence on November 21st, 2005. November 21st, 2005, they received item FL and FK for ballistics testing. Now, how did that happen? I was in shock. I was like, this cannot be real. I know I've read this report. I've read every one of the CASO reports, every one of them. And that one little sentence, just skipped right over it. Apparently didn't catch the significance of it. But there it is, right there. What this means is that the police had possession of the bullet in November. And it ended up being planted in March 2nd, to be exact, in Stephen's garage. So what this means also is that this bullet was collected at some point while they had possession of the property for the 9 days or whatever. And then at some point after that, they sent this bullet along with the other bullet to be compared to the gun to see if they were fired, if either of them were fired from this gun, and of course FL was. And then 4 months later, it shows up on Stephen's garage floor. They didn't even bother to change the item number. It's the same item number. It's FL. FL, we've talked about it a million times. FL, this bullet, it's crazy, you know. Like, where did it come from? We obviously know it's planted, right? We know that because they got Brendan to say that Teresa was shot. They got him to agree with the fact that Teresa was shot in the head. this came from the police. It didn't come from Brendan. It came from the police. They fed that information to him. We all know that. And then that confession led them out to the property again, gave them, I guess, probable cause or whatever to go and search the property again, specifically the garage, to see if they could find any of this evidence to support what he had said in his confession. So they go out there and they dug up the floor of the garage, the concrete floor, with a jackhammer on March 1st, the same day Brendan's confession. And then on March 2nd, the next day, they find the magic bullet with Teresa's DNA on it. Here it is. Just suddenly, we searched this like a couple times and never saw it, but then there it is, just magically, right there. Right there. There it is. Her DNA is on it. How convenient is that? So I'm kind of speechless. This is crazy. If this is not proof that the police planted the bullet, I don't know what is. And I mean the police specifically, because up to this point, we've known that someone planted that bullet there. It could have been the killer. It could have been the police. Like, it was most likely the police, but it was not certain. Like, we couldn't be for sure that it was the police. But this, there is no doubt, zero doubt, it was the police. They had possession of this bullet in November that ended up being put back on the floor of the garage on March 2nd. And they didn't even bother to change the item number. So that says a lot. It says a lot to me. Like, this can be verified pretty easily by seeing how many bullets are in evidence right now. Are there 2 bullets, FL and FK, or are there more than 2 bullets? If there are 2 bullets, 2 bullet fragments in evidence, and only 2 bullet fragments, then this is 100% correct, 100% planted. They can't deny it. There it is. There's the smoking gun. There it is. So anyway, there's really not anything else to say about it. This is crazy, and of course I'm gonna send this to Zellner if someone hasn't already. I know that someone has probably figured this out a long time ago, but for whatever reason, this is the first time I've heard of it, so I always do the thing, just in case. I send it to Zellner just in case. You never know. Like, she might have skipped over it if someone sent it to her a long time ago. Might have been less important, or she couldn't prove it or whatever. But now it might be different for whatever. You never know. So I'm gonna send it to her and see what happens. Hopefully leads to something. Hopefully it helps at least get an evidentiary hearing, if nothing else. I don't know. I mean, what can happen from this, I have no idea. But if you can prove that the police planted at least one thing, I think that's all it takes. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.